This time, it's a carnival at Smith & Wesson. Defensive pistol fun and action at the Indoor Nationals. Then we're inside the Civilian Marksmanship Program's depot, building M1 Garands that could be for you.
This is Shooting USA, reporting the stories of America's shooting sports.
Concealed carry is booming in the U.S. The number of licensed civilians keeps expanding in permit states, and we now have 10 states with constitutional carry. If you own it, you can carry it. With that, the organization promoting training as competition is also expanded. That's the IDPA, the International Defensive Pistol Association, with local clubs shooting in cities all across the country. And that produces big demand to sign up for the annual match on the Smith & Wesson indoor ranges in Springfield, Massachusetts. It's always an extraordinary event, starting the season off with a championship, the Smith & Wesson Indoor Nationals.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the Big Talk.
This may look like fun and games.
Shooters ready. Stand by.
But there's serious business at the Smith & Wesson IDPA Indoor Nationals. The International Defensive Pistol Association builds competitors' skill and confidence, challenging them to draw from concealment and defend themselves in situations that could occur in real life.
Your family is being abducted, and there is no one around to save them but you.
There's always a defensive nature to this. We want to make sure that people are, understanding proper operations and cycles of firearms, proper weapon safety wherever they are, and understand different defensive scenarios.
And at this match, that means scenarios that might happen if bad guys show up while you and your family are attending a carnival.
Scenario: the criminals have left the ticket house and the final battle moves outside. Stop them now or lose your loved ones forever.
Every year we look at it and we think, how can they do anything any better? And somehow they manage to make the match bigger, better. The props are more exciting. I mean, it's a carnival this year. It's a real carnival.
Take, for example, a stage called Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen.
Scenario: having fun at the amusement park is exhausting, and you and your loved ones stop at the cafeteria to fuel up. While you're at the ATM, bad guys rush in brandishing guns.
Big challenges confront the 300 competitors on this difficult stage, including 3 targets that start falling even before you draw your gun. Followed by tricky turning targets, shooters engage strong hand only while holding kitchen utensils.
This stage is a little bit brutal. You've got a lot going on with picking up the utensils, shooting one-handed, the crazy movers.
This is a perfect example of an indoor national stage. There are so many things going on, pulling the ropes, and these, during the walkthrough, I had no idea they were that fast. So they're freakishly fast.
And it's no accident these stages are tough, with props and movers and taxing scenarios proving to shooters how they stack up against this sport's very best.
But that mover is really fast. But it's a national championship. It's not supposed to be easy.
It's a difficult match. There were some pretty tight shots. There's some movers that move pretty quick. But again, it's a national level match, and so you want to be challenged. It makes it fun.
And as if the carnival stages aren't fun enough, half the scenarios in this championship are in the dark. And even on stages that aren't pitch black, the lighting is often subdued.
Oh, this low light is killing me, man. I need some new eyes. Finger's still good, the eyes are kind of getting lazy.
IDPA supports competition for shooters of every skill level. Both pros and amateurs compete at the Nationals with divisions for revolvers and semi-autos. And this year, a new pistol class called CCP.
I'm shooting in a compact carry pistol division, or CCP for short. It's a new division that's designed more for guns that people actually would carry as opposed to full-frame, full-size guns that people do carry, however, not as frequently as some of the ones you'll see in this new division.
Slide forward. Trigger.
Each division has hard and fast rules governing size and weight of firearms. If a pistol doesn't fit in the box, it doesn't qualify.
In some of the divisions, they're size specific. So, for instance, you put it in the box, if the magazine is sticking out too far, the magazine could be disqualified.
Strict but very practical rules also dictate competitors' actions. For example, shooters can't change magazines while passing an open window. If you're exposed to a threat, be ready to defend yourself.
Cover!
Competitors must also be acutely aware of maintaining proper cover. So they use a technique called tactical priority, engaging each target one at a time while maintaining cover from additional threats.
Using cover, you would come up, you would engage the first target. You're not exposed to the second one, so if the second threat was actually one to you, he wouldn't be able to see you or shoot at you. So you would engage the outside target first, and then come in and you would engage the inside threat second.
An effective defensive technique with a well-known nickname.
This is also known as slicing the pie.
There is also another specific way shooters must engage certain targets. This technique is tactical sequence.
You can start from either side, but if you took the target on the left, you would engage it with one round, engage the center target with one round, and then engage the right target with 2 rounds. And then come back and engage the center target with a round, and then engage the target on the left with a single round.
The point is to get one shot on each target before re-engaging any threat.
In a real-world scenario, if you were out in the open and you had 3 people coming at you, you at least want to get those 3 shots off before they can get the shots off at you.
A lot to remember, but good to know if you have to defend yourself.
It looks complicated, but once you break it down, it's really not. All you have to do is just take a stage, break it down, take it piece by piece, and then just go ahead and run through those pieces.
That is the training part of IDPA competition, and running through the scenarios is sure to help prepare you if there's ever a threat. And that's what IDPA is really about. But in this match, it's also about winning. This is a national championship. Coming next, the best of the pros are about to compete.
Introducing the M&P M2.0 by Smith & Wesson, enhanced for complete shootability. Featuring a new aggressive grip texture, the famous M&P Optimal Grip Angle, 4 interchangeable palm swell grips for nearly any hand size, a light, crisp trigger with a clear tactile reset. Everything you love about the M&P pistol made even better. The new M&P M2.0, advanced by design.
Shooting USA is brought to you by Smith & Wesson and the new M&P 2.0 pistol, advanced again by design. In IDPA, your firearm determines your division. Stock service pistol is the biggest group for competitors shooting double actions and striker-fired semi-autos. The revolver division explains itself, as does the newest CCP for compact carry pistol. Then your skill level decides your class. Novices shoot only against novices, and at the top of the sport are the master class shooters, with the best grouped in a super squad for the fastest action in the match. The Super Squad has yet to fire a shot, but they've studied the stages and know what they're facing.
Stage 1 is called Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen.
They make it a challenge here. They put lots of moving targets, low light scenarios, flashlights. This is probably the hardest match I ever shoot.
It is very, very difficult. There's a ton of movers here. There's really tough cover. There's a lot of hard shots.
In IDPA, shooters aim for speed and accuracy. Your time is your score. The faster, the better, but you must be on target to protect your fast time. Hits in the center or head of the IDPA target add no time to your score. Hits in the next ring are called down 1 and add a half-second penalty. Hits in the next ring out are called down 3 and add a second and a half. Misses are down 5 and add 2.5 seconds. Shooting a non-threat or no-shoot target designated by the open hands adds a 5-second penalty. One of the best competitions in this match is the shootout for High Lady, and you can see why on a stage called Not Amusing. Smith & Wesson pro Julie Golub is fast on the trigger and on target. She posts a time just over 27 seconds with 3.5 seconds in penalties. Teen phenom Ashley Ruark is even faster, edging Julie's time by 1/10 of a second, with just 1 second added in target penalties. Her score of 28-19 is going to be tough to beat.
Only 2 points down. The swingers got me a little bit. It was a tough stage. Yeah, tough stage, but very fun.
Smith & Wesson pro Randy Rogers finds Not Amusing very much to her liking. Smooth and steady on the swingers in spite of distracting ducks. Randy's 26-second run is a full tick better than her competition, and just 2 seconds added on the targets gives her the top score on the stage.
My favorite part were the 2 swinging targets with the ducks in front. I was a little nervous because those ducks are very distracting when you're up there with your sights, but I got zeros on both, so I'm pumped!
And one more thing to be pumped about, Randy wins High Lady for the match.
This might be my favorite stage of the match. I've decided I love the circus.
Another great matchup is CDP Custom Defensive Pistol, where former world champion Glenn Shelby goes head-to-head with 6-time national champ David Ohasso. The stage called Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen is a great example of how close they are. Glenn sets a fast pace at the cafeteria, easily handling the kitchen utensils that control the turning targets, but then gets called for a cover violation. A 5-second penalty. His time is 28:07 with 9 total seconds in penalties.
Got another procedural, but anyway, that's the way it is. We're just here to have a good time, and that's what it's all about.
David quickly handles the falling targets and comfortably manages the turning threats. His time is fast, 28.23. And as they check the targets, David points out a shot that caught an edge. Listen as the judges change his score.
That target moved really fast.
Change the 10 to an 8.
Got it. So, 8 goes at 8, 10, 12 points down out. That's okay out there.
The change saves David 1 full second, giving him the stage and a CDP victory by 2/100ths of a second, less than the blink of an eye. Another battle is shaping up in the revolver division between Smith & Wesson young gun Josh Lentz and master wheel gunner Jerry Michalak. Jerry blazes with his Model 645 on the stage called Not Amusing. He's quick with his reload on the move and draws a bead on the waving targets beyond those disturbing ducks. Jerry is feeling the pressure from Josh.
I had a couple of misses, but I actually saw them. I'm a little bit behind, so I had to try to catch up on some stages where I could actually see my sights.
From the start, Josh takes a more deliberate approach to the same stage, taking time to see his sights and working through the distraction created by those ducks. And in Josh's case, slower is fast. His raw time lags Jerry's by 4 full seconds, but his shooting is much more on target.
Jerry's putting up a match here. We're fighting it back and forth, so I'm charging hard at him.
Stage to Jerry, but the match goes to Josh. This young gun is revolver champion. One more competition of note pits Bob Vogel against himself. Bob has more IDPA titles to his credit than we have time to mention, and his total time on 14 stages is 45 seconds faster than his closest rival, ESP division winner Maston Lane. Bob Vogel is, and no surprise, the IDPA indoor champion. Our congratulations to all the division champions and to the winners in all the classifications. IDPA recognizes scores way down the finishing order to encourage improvement and achieving a personal best, whatever your classification. That is one more reason IDPA membership is growing, but there are others as well, like family and fun. That's next.
What makes a legacy? Is it quality? Craftsmanship? Maybe it's the idea that every American deserves their right to security and peace of mind on and off the battlefield. What makes a legacy? Here at Colt, we're making it every day. Colt, built one at a time, proven every round.
Shooting USA is brought to you by Les Bear Customs 1911s, hand-fitted to perfection, because you'll accept nothing less. IDPA likes to think of its national championship as a big family reunion. And for many competitors, that's what the Smith & Wesson Indoor Nationals is, a reunion with 400 of their closest cousins. Well, like any family, you'll find rivalries, kinship, and tradition as well. You'll also find some of the very best people sharing their shooting sport. These two competitors are locked in battle at the IDPA Nationals, a battle they've been waging for a half a dozen years.
We're fiercely competitive. Fiercely. We see who can reload mags the fastest. When we do dry fire practice, it's who can gather up the most and the quickest, and you don't even have to say it, it just happens. It's full on from the get-go.
Walt and Austin are father and son, so family time is what IDPA is all about for them. That rivalry they talk about is a very friendly one.
Why do we do it? It started off when Austin was 13 years old, and it was a way to spend time every weekend with my son, so that's why I do it.
For the past 6 years, I've got to travel around the country and shoot guns with my dad. What else could I want?
Not every member of IDPA is so fiercely competitive or fast on the trigger.
Bob Baker, also known as Captain Slow. It started a long time ago when I started doing this, and I was slow but deliberate, so I got the nickname Captain Slow.
Bob has a passion for his sport. He's a safety officer, instructor, and match director in Maine. He's at this competition for a simple reason.
Normally, I'm the guy running a match, writing the match, SOing a match. This is my busman's holiday. I just get to come and shoot and have fun.
Here are a couple of other fellows who aren't taking this championship too seriously in spite of their obvious talents handling a semi-auto. Steve Gilchrist and Dylan Kennison are instructors at the Sig Sauer Academy. But here, they're just buddies doing their best to get under each other's skin.
The Stephen Gilchrist, that's who I'm here to shoot with, and he is nice enough to let me carry his ammo for him.
It's a good chance to test skills and continue to compete against people and hang out with good folks that are like-minded and just have a good time.
Here's a competitor who likes IDPA because it helps him build self-defense skills. Jim Kuzak was a police officer 5 years ago, injured in the line of duty.
This allows me the ability to actually do something that might happen in real life in a wheelchair. So it makes me work around what I have to do in a wheelchair using my firearm.
Jim says he just wanted to get back to shooting, and here he is, one of 20,000 members of IDPA.
I'm just a lot shorter than most of them now, and I got to work around not being able to back up and move forward as fast as other people can.
All right, the biggest things I would like to advise you of is remember safety is our first priority.
The red carpet is out for new members. and seasoned teachers are happy to help. Smith & Wesson's Randy Rogers, the women's champion, is showing the ropes to 2 new shooters. These guys know their way around a range, but have never fired a shot in competition.
We shot stage 1, super nervous. I got onto stage 2, the nervousness wasn't there.
It was a blast. I'll be honest with you. I've been shooting for a long, long time, but never in a setting like this. And this is great, super.
And worthwhile for their teacher, too, bringing newcomers to the sport she loves.
They're nervous at first, but then all of a sudden they break out into these huge smiles. And for me, this is what it's all about, is sharing the joy of shooting with people who have never had the chance to do it.
I would say just go out and try it. It's you would be hooked. Trust me.
It's a great setting. I'm going to do this again.
George and Mauro are a good example of how many in the shooting industry don't get to the range enough. They're both Smith & Wesson employees. But it sounds like they're now going to be IDPA members as well, thanks to some help from Randy Rogers. Well, coming next, what do you do with obsolete muzzle loaders in the new age of the self-contained cartridge? The answer, cut a door over the breech. The trap door is next. Out of all you'll spend on shooting this year, this is the most important, a membership in the NRA.